juicing, chopping, juicing it hard.
Hello, my name is Chris Bauer, and it's the 10th of November, and I am the Cafe Neckbeard PR representative and procurement specialist. And I, on Friday, November 8th, completed day 30 of the Cafe Neckbeard Celery Winter Menu Anticipation Juice Cleanse. I wouldn't say finished. I had 30 days of the menu and I completed the video, and I have been extremely... Can please stop? I've had a couple of issues over here at the Garfield Park, the East Garfield Park Cafe Neckbeard Test Kitchen Studio Lab Play Place, and it hasn't been irritations that have limited my ability to put out the 30th part of my job in producing this is to produce daily content and to distribute daily content, and I've been trying to learn how to distribute daily content in a way where people can actually observe it and keep up with what I'm trying to say and doing my job. And if I'm not doing my job, then why am I getting paid to do this job? And am I getting paid to do this job? Like, these are all the questions that people are asking me all the time. And, you know, the number one thing is, like, regardless of whether or not I'm paid to do my job, I've agreed to do a job. I'm passionate about the job I do for Cafe Neckbeard, for Chef Anton. And my job is to deliver on which I cannot extract them. And because of some economic issues beyond my control, I do not have the ability to extract those files in a way that's fairly large file, because I really care about, just like Chef Anton cares about quality of ingredients, I care about quality of image. And even though I'm still learning how to use the camera, trying my best to produce the best content. And you'll notice that if you look at the first couple of videos, you'll notice I was like, wow, this is like pretty poor visual. Part of it has to do with making some changes of personnel. I've invested in some better equipment, and I no longer allow Ika, who you just saw in my arms, to make as many artistic choices. So I have exchanged with her. We've signed a contract that allows her to have more screen time and less interaction with the tripod legs. So we're coming to... I'm off track again, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the future of the video series, because I am no longer going to be drinking celery juice in the morning as a sort of therapeutic or transformative juicing experience. So while I'm still going to kind of comfortably use the word cleanse irresponsibly, I'm going to start looking at the way that Christians see the Bible as being formative and present in their everyday life. And so celery juice for me is not just going to be in the morning, it's going to be in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, as the clock strikes midnight, as the dew settles on the blades of grass. It's going to be a part of my life constantly, and I'm going to be participating in the celery menu anticipation for the next 2 months, and I'm going to make this the wildest ride you've ever seen. And I was thinking about that. The wildest ride that I've ever seen was that I've ever read, Moby by Herman Melville, and so much of Cafe Neckbeard has to do with the origin story of Chef Anton, and I'm not going to get into that here, But for those of you that know anything about the restaurant or know anything about Chef Anton's life, he denies this. But it's a well-known story that Chef Anton was actually born inside of a whale. We know this because his brother has visited Tuxedo, this world for us to tell us some things about Chef Anton. And while Chef Anton still insists that's not true, other ideas about what the truth is. And I'm not going to be here to debate whether or not Chef Anton is gossip rag, or we're going to be debating, the rich and famous and celebrities' existence, like we're, staring in from the mountaintops with our binoculars and our hearing trumpets, trying to look for crumbs to nourish ourselves because our lives are so miserable. It's just genuinely interesting to learn about amazing people, and sometimes to have conversations about, isn't that interesting? And stop looking at everything as is this the truth? Is this the truth? I am talking about the way that I'm ingesting information. I'm not trying to lecture you guys. I'm not trying to lecture you genders, all genders. I'm trying to talk to you about how I see the truth. And I think the truth comes in lots of different forms. And I think we've always had the ability to understand that when someone tells us a story, that story might not be 100% true, but there is truth inside that story somewhere. And so when someone tells us a lie, they are telling us the truth. It's just more complicated than maybe we're wanting things to be. But life's always been complicated. Just because we have Wi-Fi and economy internet packages that cap out at certain numbers, and just because we don't have the money to pay the whole bill and we have reduced service, just because we are having to block almost every number that calls, and then finding out that you can't block numbers when they're coming from the people that control the ability to block numbers, that's one version of the story. And I just want to be able to start talking about things that are more talk to me on Friday. If I had the ability to get the video out on Friday afternoon like I had hoped, I think that I would have made a video yesterday. I think that I would have made a video earlier today. I think I would have been on the horse. And I'm sort of thinking about what happens when you make something and it's not made in a condition where anyone can see it. So what if you were writing in an island and you have no audience, you have no reader, you have no viewer? What are you supposed to do with all that information? Can you be is there such thing as self-satisfaction? It's philosophical. When I was a kid, I used to read philosophy. I used to pretend to read philosophy. I used to carry around philosophical books. I didn't read them, but I held them in my arms like this. German names, some of them hard to pronounce, some of them remarkably easy. Or so I thought. I always liked the idea of philosophy. I always liked the idea of work. Not lazy. I'm just not all the time. Not all the time. Not all the time. I'm not lazy. I'm just lousy at focusing and finishing, and I'm irritable, and I'm cantankerous, and I have lecherous thoughts, mostly towards myself, about my inability to complete things, my inability to do things, and I'm working really hard at it. And part of the things that this video series is about is trying to cling to something that's bigger than me, and going back to some of the things that I'm trying to understand in this video series is that, you know, Friday I was like, this is going to be an exercise video series. This is going to be me learning how to do martial arts. This is going to be me like teaching you how to be a cactus, or how to like trim a cactus, or how to make paper. And I was gonna like bring in experts and like do these things. And like, what am I gonna do? And like, I'm like, I got all this energy, I got all these ideas. We're gonna like learn how to like grow garlic inside. I'm gonna teach you how to make candy. And I'm gonna teach you how to make blow glass. I'm gonna teach you how to this thing. And I'm like, I don't know how to do any of these things. How am I going to teach you how to do these things? And so the only thing I can do to make this worthwhile is to do something with you and to do something for you. And I want to, in this job, I want to be able to slowly over time convince you that you should invest a very large amount of money to come to the historic Logan Square neighborhood and eat at Chef Anton's Cafe Neckbeard, and provide you with an evening of culinary, theatrical, devastating, I don't want to even lighten it, belittle it by calling it entertainment. It's more powerful than any religious experience that I've ever had, and I've never eaten there. I've just heard it described. I have had menus presented to me, but I've never been able to actually consume any of the food. And you can. And I won't even see, now I feel like self-conscious, because now I feel like, oh, I have to explain it. And I always do, is that I have celiac disease, and this is embarrassing for me. I'm not embarrassed for Cafe Neckbeard. Cafe Neckbeard is a celiac intolerant restaurant, and I'm not embarrassed about my condition, but I am embarrassed about my condition.